This is a HeadGum podcast.
Here's a question. What is Care/of? Care of is a monthly subscription vitamin service made from effective, quality ingredients, personally tailored for your exact needs. So I got an email and they were like, take this quiz. So I took a quiz, super easy, super fun, super chill, lots of pictures, truly kept me engaged, bright colors, good for me. And it literally designed the vitamins that I should be taking. And truly, I read through it and I was like, this is right. I should be taking these vitamins. And there's tons of benefits to vitamins. So even if you try to maintain a healthy diet, guess what? It can be hard to get all those nutrients your body needs for long-term health. Vitamins also fill the important gaps that your body is missing from your diet. And get this, 90%. That's a lot of people. That's almost all the people. They fall short of the FDA recommended guidelines for at least one vitamin or nutrient. Also, the recommendations are built on clinical research with traditional medicine, with input from doctors and nutritionists. It includes individually wrapped packets with your specific vitamins and supplements for easy grab and go. Because you can't be shaking stuff out of bottles being like, what's this and the other thing? Nope, these are just wrapped up for you. And guess what? It costs about 20% less when compared to similar brands at drugstores and local health food stores. So for 25% off your first month of personalized Care of vitamins, visit careof.com and enter the promo code DATEME for 25%. I'm saying it again because you might have missed it, but you get 25% of your first month of personalized vitamins via Care of. Visit takecareof.com. The promo code is DATEME. What a treat. You'll be swallowing big old vitamins in no time. Bye-bye. Why won't you date me? Why won't you date me? Why won't you date me? Please tell me why. Oh boy, I'm Nicole Byer, and this is Why Won't You Date Me? A podcast where I try to figure out why I'm single, even though I'll let you titty fuck me, even though I don't enjoy it. My guest today is a model. She's beautiful. She's wonderful. I met her on the Steve Harvey show. She's modeled for H&M. She's done runway stuff. She's got a book called The Not So Subtle Art of Being a Fat Girl, Loving the Skin and You're In. Tess Holliday! Boo, boo, boo!
I can't even follow that. I'm just sitting over here like I need more caffeine. I'm mind blown. Hi.
Hi. Truly, this is like my base level. I can get wilder.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited. It's good to see you under less stressful circumstances.
Yes. We first met on the Steve Harvey show. It was called the Curvy Hour. And the only reason why I said yes to it is because the way it was pitched to me, they were like, okay, so Steve is doing a Curvy Hour and it's going to be you and a curvy panel and then an audience of curvy women. And I was like, there's going to be an audience of fat women? They're just going to go out and find fat women? How did they ask that? What was the breakdown for it? Like, I'm so sorry you can't come today. It's for the fat women. And I was like, that is so funny. So I was like, I have to do this. That's the only reason why I did it. Because I was like, I can't wait to see a sea of fat ladies who are just like, Steve!
I wish it would have been a little bit more positive than it was, but I definitely think that you were literally only the highlight of my trip and the pizza. So, I guess that was the good part of it.
Yeah, they got us Luminati's pizza,
Yes.
which is Chicago style deep dish. Ooh, baby, if you're in Chicago, you
So
better taste it.
bomb.
So good. It was interesting because I've done the curvy panel twice now because I was like, I have to go back. That was wild. But
Girl, I didn't get a call back. Not after had the side eye he gave me was edited out, but I was not asked back.
well, I think it's because men don't really love being told you're wrong.
No.
And he had a little bit of like antiquated views on body positivity. And you were like the forefront of body positivity, which I love. You have a hashtag F your beauty standards, and people accuse you of promoting obesity, which is like the most insane thing in the world. Because what does that mean? I feel like you have a body, you're in it, love it.
100%. I even wrote in my book, so in my book I have like Tess Holliday's advice for life, and one of them is saying that I promote obesity is like saying that Stevie Wonder promotes blindness. Because it's like, it's who I am. Like, why is the fact that I'm saying love yourself and it's coming from a fat body, why does that equal that I'm like recruiting people like Tupperware to like become fat? You know, I'm just saying like love yourself. It's so basic, but people just make it into, you know, it's just blanketed by their own shit. So it's really hard. But we have people like you to break it down.
I'm trying.
Appreciate it.
It took me a long time to get to loving the body I was in. Like my parents passed away and I had all their stuff in storage, and I had some of my stuff from New York in storage. And I was recently in Jersey where the unit is, and I was going through old pictures, and there's a literal picture of me in a pool fully clothed. Also, I'm like 75 pounds lighter than I am now. And I was like, oh, I wish I could go back in time and be like, bitch, you gonna get bigger. Just take it all off, get in the pool, live your fucking life.
Oh, that's so real. I look back at photos of it's like God, this is so white of me, but it's the song where it's everybody's free to wear sunscreen. It's by Baz Luhrmann. So he says, you'll look back at photos of yourself and realize you weren't as fat as you imagined. But when I was a teenager, I hated myself. And I was like, I wish that I could have been like 160 pounds ago, been like, your life is good. You can love yourself now, which is why we do what we do now, which is why we're like, love yourself. Because if you can love the body you're in, it might not take you gaining 160 pounds like me to love your body. So,
oh, goodness gracious.
But it's okay. There's just more to love now.
Yeah, just a little bit more. You could hide things in my rolls, whatever. When I was younger, when I first started having sex, I would always have sex in the dark. I would always have a t-shirt on. It was truly like having sex through like a fucking hole in a sheet. I was like, don't touch me. Don't touch my body. Just fuck it. Just fuck the hole. And that is such an insane thing to think now. Now I'm like, lights on. I don't fucking care. You're going to see all of this. I'm going to shake it. I don't fucking care.
My husband was the first person that I had sex with the lights on.
Really?
In all of the people that I'm like, all the people that I slept with, he was the first one that I had the lights off, and he got up and he turned the lights on, and he's like, no, I was like, I want to see you. I'm like, that's weird. Why do you want to see me? And now I can't imagine like going back to that. You know, it's, I missed out on, I mean, we have good sex now, but I just think like all that sex I missed out on in the beginning.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so insane to think. I have like a joke about how you're not thinner in the dark, so it literally doesn't make sense to turn out the lights, because it's truly not like a guy's gonna touch you and be like, oh, I'm so glad I'm fucking a tiny person. You know, he knows you're a big bitch. He likes it. That's why he's there.
Yeah.
And my mother used to say that. She was like, if a boy likes you, he's gonna like you and all of you. You know, men they're visual monsters. They like what they see. If they're gonna fuck you, they like what you got.
100%.
So you've been with Nick for 6 years.
I have, yeah.
And you guys did not meet on a dating app. You guys met on Tumblr.
We met on Tumblr. He saw photos of me, and he thought that I was cute, and he liked what I was doing. And he messaged me and he said, I love how you inspire other women. Oh. And I just gotten out of a relationship that, I mean, we're still friends, but it just wasn't the best fit for us. But so I was like thirsty, and I saw his photo, and
He's
I thought,
very pretty.
Thank you. He's just a pretty man.
Very pretty.
Our baby looks just like him. He's such a pretty baby. But yeah, I saw a photo of him and I was like, there's no way, because I was still working through my own insecurities and like I was still trying to figure out who I was, and I hadn't quite loved my body at that point. And so when I saw his photo, I was like, there's no way that this hot dude is messaging me. And look, his message was, I love how you inspire other women. And I literally messaged him back and I said, thank you. By the way, my jaw hit the floor when I saw you because you're hot. Like, It wasn't, I didn't hold back at all, which is so, like, I would do that now if I was single, but then it was so just like out of character. So, yeah, very thirsty.
I like that you saw him and you were like, I just gotta fucking tell him that he's cute. Because he is cute. Because I remember I think you were modeling for Domino's Dollhouse,
Yeah.
which I don't think is a company anymore.
No.
It was a plus size company.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I saw you, and I was like, damn, wow, this woman can I say fat? Does that offend you?
Well,
Okay.
fat's in my book title, so please.
Okay. Well,
fat.
sometimes you say it and like people's faces change, and I'm like, oh, you don't know?
I was literally in the doctor yesterday with Nick, and the receptionist was like, "Oh, you look really familiar." And I said, "Thanks." And she was plus size, she was fat, and I said something about being fat, and she goes, "Oh, no, girl, we're fluffy."
No.
And I said, because I said, "Yeah, you can be fluffy, but I'm fat. I'm fluffy. I'm a lot of stuff." So it's funny, like the face that people make when I call myself fat, like it's just it's complete shock.
Yeah, I have a joke about that because when I call myself fat, because I started working on fat material maybe like a year and a half ago, and every time I would start, I couldn't figure out how to get into it because I would say, I'm fat, and then without fail, someone in the audience would go, oh, and I'd be like, don't do that.
know.
I don't feel bad for myself. I literally said it with a smile, and I'm wearing a crop top. Like, do you think I'm sad? I would be wearing a little parka. I would overdress. I'm literally right now, you can't see it because it's a podcast, but I'm wearing a lace see-through dress with titties out because I don't fucking care.
She is. I love it.
And I used to cover my arms, which is an insane thing. I was like, I guess if there's a sleeve, they won't know.
Well, I was that way too. When I moved to LA, I would literally wear cardigans every single day because I was so ashamed of my arms. And you have big arms like me.
Yes, girl.
We've got big arms.
Yes, girl.
And when, like, it was so hard for me to break through that. But really, I was fucking hot, like tired of melting. And so I stopped leaving the cardigans, and I literally don't own any cardigans at all now.
It's life-changing
It
when
really
you
is.
finally embrace your body. I got to a point where I was like, wait, if I'm wearing a cardigan and I'm wearing, like head to toe, I'm covered, I think they can still see me. You just become like Grimace. Like you're just a shape. You're like a shape that's fully covered.
Yeah.
Had you ever like messaged a dude online? Men message you all the time, yes?
Yeah, I get a ton of messages now. Prior to that, I did online dating because I was a single mom and I didn't go to bars. I had no way of meeting guys. So I was on. Well, I tried eHarmony, but let me tell you, girl, the religious aspect was difficult, but also at the time I was 23, 24, and it kept matching me with like 26-year-old ministers or people in the army, and they just like weren't really my type. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of fat phobia coming, and it was difficult. So I kept trying to raise my age because I wanted an older man. And look, long story short, eHarmony didn't work. I tried OkCupid, which is how I met my last boyfriend before Nick. Which he was good, but we weren't compatible. But it was hard because I have a smaller face, and so it's the thing where people are like, I'm fatter in real life. So I would meet up with people. I would have photos of myself that were, full bodied, and guys would be like, wow, you're fatter than I thought you were.
Good
and I'd be
Lord.
like, dope. Well, I guess I'm not going to see you again.
Ugh.
So that's where I would message these guys. I would meet up, and then they would dump me. And keep in mind, one of the guys I talk about it in my book picked me up and had to breathe into his breathalyzer to start the truck from his first DUI offense, he said.
What a treat. What a treat of a person to be like, I'm fucked up, but your fatness?
I know.
That's bad. That's a real deal breaker.
So yeah, he never saw me again. And I thought, I'm not the fucked up one in this, this part.
I mean, to me, fat's not an insult, but someone going, you're fatter than I thought is the same thing as like, oh, you're uglier than I thought. Or like, I don't know why people need to say everything they're thinking out loud. I was on eHarmony for never. So I answered the entire questionnaire, which was weird because
was
they would
so weird.
re-ask you the same question just in like different iterations, and then they rejected me.
Oh, girl.
They said I was part of the 2% of unmatchable people. And this is like back in the day where like I couldn't screenshot anything because I had a fucking Dell computer. But like I got that and I was like, oh my God. And I showed it to my roommate at the time and she just laughed and laughed. And that's like stuck with me. I have not been able to find anybody.
You need to write a book and the title needs to be Unmatchable. I'm saying it now because that's so funny.
Speak it into existence. I am and I know that like the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, oh, okay, I am a tough sell. I'm fat, I'm black, I work a lot, I have long hours, I travel a lot, I have my own money, I don't need anybody like financially. That's kind of a hard sell. A lot of dudes want to take care of you.
It's funny that you say that because 3 of my good friends that happen to be in the same category as everything that you're saying, I always think, why are they single? Like my friend Ivory, fat, black, stylish, has her own money, social worker, travels, takes solo vacations all the time, still single. And I'm like, how is this possible? Because to me, I'm like, if I was a lesbian and single, I would scoop you up in 2 seconds. And I think obviously men are intimidated by strong women. And I think the fatness, I think there's still in our society, even though it's been shown that men in America are more sexually attracted and favor bigger women. I think it's like 54%. Yeah, there's a ton of surveys and stuff that have been done where men are, and the porn searches in America are all like plus, like it's like the higher favored and plus size. So I think it's because people are ashamed and embarrassed to admit that they're sexually attracted to plus size women.
Do you remember, it wasn't super long ago, but a man made an Instagram post where he was like, I love my curvy wife.
But you saw that I got in a fight with him.
No!
Girl, I went viral getting in a fight with that fool.
I missed that.
Yeah,
what
I did. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please tell me.
I basically said that why are we giving trophies to mediocre white men on doing stuff that they should already be doing? Like, because the thing is, and people were like, that's not fair because your husband is, a skinny white guy saying he loves, he posts photos saying he loves you. And I go, yeah, but it was the language and the way that he did it that wasn't appropriate. And to be honest, both of them were mad at me, and then they were on the news about it, and literally everyone was asking me, why would you do that? And they were like, God, you're such a bully, Tess, for doing that. And I it really made me upset. And I realized obviously I have more work to do. If women are just so easily fawning over a dude saying all that stuff about his wife, it's like, of course you love her and you're attracted to her. You married her. And all of the comparisons he was doing about her body and how she'll never be on a body like hers will never be on the cover of magazines, but I still love her. And I was like, bitch, bodies like hers have been on the covers of magazines. Me and at least 15
also,
other people I can name.
She wasn't big?
No, I mean,
she was average, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, she falls into the spectrum of plus size, but it's not like he's dating, I just thought that it was, God, it grosses me out. It was just so self-congratulatory.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
And he wanted a pat on the back and a trophy, and it bothered me. And people can think I'm mean or a bully or whatever, but I feel like if I'm going into that realm of body positivity and loving yourself and talking about healthy relationships and all of the stuff I use my platform for, I have to call out stuff like that. And I didn't do it in a mean way. I just think that it's important that we say hey, this is not something that you want in a partner that's going to do stuff like this. You can have someone that dotes on you and thinks you're bomb, but not like that.
I would be so embarrassed if my partner made a public post about how awful other people thought my body was, but he just loves it so much he don't know why. I would be like, can you not ever do that again? I don't even know what that conversation would be. I'd be like, you gotta go.
I know. It's a strange, it's It also goes back to plus size women taking crumbs, like we just, I mean, look, I love cookies and crumbs. I'll take them all. But I'm saying, like, when it comes to people loving yourself and your body and what and images you're seeing in media and all of this, like, we just have to stop taking like crumbs like that. I don't know. To me, it rubbed me the wrong way, obviously. And I'm very vocal about stuff like that.
I like that you're very vocal. I like that you... Because you like very much like interact with your fans and you are constantly like posting things. I don't like, you're just very good at social media.
Okay, well, I can teach you. I love social media because I wouldn't be sitting here, I mean, with you, because I wouldn't have my career. I wouldn't.
How did you, I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but I know you started your career on a modeling website, yes?
Well, yeah, I had photos of myself on Model Mayhem, which was basically, and I think still is now used for guys to pick up girls and like just skeezy guys that say they're photographers that live in their mom's like
yes, come to my fucking hut and I'll fucking shoot you, and you're like, oh, no thank you.
Yeah, and I need you topless on my dirty bed, please. These photos are gonna change your life. I shot at this guy's house off of the 405 freeway. Okay, I go in and I thought like I had all, it was before I started professionally modeling, but I'm trying to be a model. I'm out here hustling. It's LA. I go into this house and his mom answers the door.
Oh no.
She's watching TV and he's like, oh yeah, upstairs. So I go upstairs. His mom doesn't even bat an eyelash.
Oh,
and the guy's like, I need you to take off your shirt and like you can be topless, but you can leave this on. And like I did it and I was like covered, but I felt really weird. His bed was dirty. There was like empty like top ramen containers everywhere. And anyways, long story short, like he's still out there. I saw one of his photos the other day.
The saddest thing is you're not the only person with that story. Being a woman trying to break it in truly any form of entertainment, people just want to take advantage of you because you're naive and you don't know that it's not right to go to a man's house and go to his room and take your, like, it's, you don't know that. Because you're like, well, I don't know. How does anyone start? How do I've like met with dudes who are like, oh, I can do X, Y, and Z for you. And I get there and I'm like, oh, this is fucking shady.
100%.
This one guy, I met him on the street. He was like, you're beautiful. Have you ever thought about modeling? And I was like, I'm too fat to model. He's like, no, this is specifically for model or bigger models. And I was like, oh, okay. And he hands me this card that says bustybabydolls.com. and he's like, you don't have to go to the website to check anything out. We can just set up an appointment for you to do some modeling. And I was like, oh, okay. So I made the appointment and I was like on my way to go. And something told me, it was like, look at the website. See what bustybabydolls.com is. Girl, it was full on porn. Just like big black women getting fucking railed. And I was like, oh! And I was like, what would have happened when I got there? Would this man have like, he probably would have talked me into doing a porn and then it would have been something to haunt me for the rest of my life.
I may or may not be sitting here right now. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I could have been like fucking murdered or like whatever. Okay, we have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll keep talking. And we're back. What a dream of a break. Okay, what were you talking about?
Black women getting railed. This was the last thing that you said.
Yes, the last thing. Oh my goodness. I'm always saying something wild.
I'm so glad my publicist didn't come to this with me because she would be in the corner in the fetal position screaming at me.
My publicist, a lot of times I see her cringing and she'll be like, oh boy. But after like working with them for a while, they're like, that's her.
That's mine does the same thing now. I'll get the eye roll or I'll get the mom like look and then, it's good. But yeah. Anyways.
Okay, I want you to look at my Tinder page.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what you think I can change, if you just straight up like it. And then as you go through it, just like describe it because it's a podcast.
Okay, but what I want to know is, do you get recognized on Tinder? Like, do people, like, as a celeb? P.S. I have this shirt and I will never part with it.
I love it. ASOS.
Yeah, it's the ASOS monster. It looks like it's eating your boobs. So sorry. Do you get recognized on
Sometimes.
Tinder?
Sometimes I get recognized. More times I don't get recognized because my demographic isn't like 20-year-old, 30-year-old men. It's a lot of teenage girls or like young ladies. But yeah.
I, first of all, love this photo of you climbing the bookcase because
Thank you.
I think that that's very, it's very good. I also like that you say I got a fat ass, so if you're not into it, bye.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Let them know.
I love it. Down to figure skater fuck. That's really funny.
Thank you.
I would be lost in this dating world. Like, I've never used Tinder or like any kind of app
No?
because, well, it all started after I
You're
was
right.
in a
You
relationship.
Completely. You've missed out.
I have.
Let me tell you something. It's awful. It's the fucking worst.
I've heard nothing but horror stories, especially, I mean, I've had a few friends that have ended up married from Tinder, but, you know, I know that it's a hard world out there because it's, people are sketchy and, you know, I guess if you want something more than a hookup, which is cool too if that's all you want.
I've been on Tinder, I think for maybe 2 years, 3 years. I don't know. I don't know how long it's been around, but I've only had like 3 nice dates where like I went on another date.
Out
with
of
a
how
person.
many dates have you?
So many.
Oh my God.
So many dates. But also I went through a real hoe phase where I was like, yeah, I just need to get deep dicked. So I would just have dudes come to my house. I'd be like, you fuck me and then you leave. And then some guys like want to hang out. And I'm like, do you not get what a booty call is? Like, fucking leave.
My friend, I don't want to, well, I'm just going to call her out, Ashley in New York. She's like this tiny little thing. She uses it and she uses it just for recreational purposes, just for sex, and loves it. But I do sometimes think like, you know, how hard it would be to find if you want like a committed monogamous relationship.
Very, very hard.
Yeah.
And then I do have like a big old dildo in one picture. So men,
I missed that.
Oh, you did?
Where is it?
It's in the monster picture.
Girl,
I'm
I
holding
didn't.
a
I was so
dildo.
mesmerized by our matching T-shirt that I missed.
We probably have so many matching clothing because
We probably do.
There's no clothes for fat ladies.
No, nothing cute.
What I've resorted to is I buy things that are smaller with a fuller skirt and then have someone cut the bottom off and add it to the body part.
That's smart.
Yeah, and then that way I have things that nobody else has.
I love it.
It's you gotta. As a
You
fat
have
lady,
to be creative
tips,
as a
like,
fat lady.
tricks. I had some girl. She was like, "Where do you shop?" And I was like, "Honestly, everywhere. Spandex is your friend, and you have to put it on." Like I was wearing a dress yesterday that was a medium, but it was like a giant trapeze dress, and I was like, "Yes, I'm here for this." Okay, so last night was just cruising on Tinder, and I matched with this guy named Drew. Drew is, can you see Drew?
I can.
Drew has muscles. Drew's on the beach. Drew loves his body and his profile. He's 29. He says, let's work out together, make meal plans, acro yoga, God, actor, director, cinematographer.
And you guys
photographer.
matched?
Yes.
I'm not trying to judge
it.
you, but my brain exploded.
I matched. I swiped right because I was like, I have to see if we match. And then we did match. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to send him a message. So I wrote meal prep, yoga, and God, you fuck? He hasn't responded.
Oh.
And then I matched with this guy named Zach a while ago. And he keeps like just messaging me intermittently. And then he was like, let's get together sometime, December 14th. Then January 20th, he goes, what's your number? So I wrote 8. And he said, cool.
Oh.
I was like, I'm not giving you my phone number. I don't fucking know you. Everyone's
but
trash.
do you feel, you're not giving him your phone number, but do you feel comfortable with them coming over to your house? Because see, that would weird me out.
Well, I figure if I meet someone in the bar and I bring them to my house, what's the difference if I bring someone from Tinder to my house?
True. That's a good
and
point.
Now I have a security system in my house. So like if you're going to break in, alarm and ADT will come and save me. I don't know. But yeah, I guess it is. At first when I was like, ooh, I'm just gonna fuck these dudes, I was like, is this gross? Is this bad? But then I was like, I don't know. Like I've slept with strangers from bars and never spoken to them again.
Yeah, same. I get it. I feel like it's hard. Because I'm a mom, and I'm not saying that judgy because it sounded judgy because I was like, mom. My older son's 12 and my other son is almost 2.
Aww.
And I kind of missed like a hoe phase that a lot of my friends went because I was 20 with a kid. So didn't really like bring people to my house and do all of that until my son was old enough to like stay at his grandparents or whatever. So, but I mean, I get it, because when I was single and a teenager, I did so many things that I'm surprised that I'm still alive or I don't have like 20 STDs. So
Yeah, I was very reckless in my younger days. It's wild that I'm pretty good right now. Dating is you're very lucky you don't have to do it. But do you know what Raya is?
No.
I'm like obsessed with Raya.
What is it?
Raya is like Tinder, but for semi-famous people and Instagram models.
Okay, I have heard of this. Now that you said it, one of my friends is on it, and actually, she hooks up with someone from a boy band or former boy band.
What a dream!
And but like, it's funny because I didn't believe her, and I was like, you have to text him, because I want to see. And she texts him, and he texts back with, "Who is this?" And she's like, well, he has like 4 different phones. And I was like, I get it. It's fine. Like, whatever.
That's so funny that she's like, oh yeah, I'll prove it to you. And he's like, who the fuck this? And she's like, he's got a lot of phones.
I was crying. But that's strange too. And it's funny you said Instagram models, because that's a whole nother world of Instagram's funny, you know.
Instagram's very interesting. Social media, people are very crazy on it.
They are, and I think people forget sometimes that you can just be whoever the fuck you want to be on social media and create whatever you want. That sometimes I think people are so focused on like everything being perfect online that they forget about actually working on themselves in real life, which I'm sure you notice through dating and all of that, you're like, you were much more appetizing on an app than in real life.
Oh, yeah. I've been on dates with dudes where I'm like, ugh, your fingernails are long and gross, but you look pretty well groomed online.
I hate long fingernails. It's so funny that you said that.
Gross. Because I'm like, okay, if you finger me, men are like not great with hygiene. Some of them aren't. And it's like, you probably have dirt under there. I don't want to have to get a tetanus shot before you finger me, okay?
Oh, my God.
So gross. So can you tell me about like DMs that you get? Because you have like, how many followers do you have on Instagram? Like,
I have
6 million?
girl, I don't have that many.
You have
but
so
thank
many,
you.
though.
Bless you, Jesus. I have 1.5 million.
That to me,
followers.
that's 10 million. That's so many.
That's so many. I also lose a lot, because I'm a big mouth, but I don't care. Bye. I get a ton of DMs a day, and I would say it's half and half. Like, half of it is just women saying that they're inspired by me or they want it. Mostly they want modeling advice, which is cool. I don't typically respond to them because of Google, And I mean, but if I see someone that genuinely, like, I feel like is going through something or whatever, I will reach out to them. Then I have a ton of men. I don't really get women sliding in my DMs like in a sexual manner. Mostly men. I had to actually disable. I had my Snapchat open to where anyone could message me, because I like getting messages from my fans and I like interacting with them. But not when I open a video and someone's just jerking right off into it. And like, also my husband and I, like, my husband's queer, which is a lot of fun because I can.
What? Okay. I'm not up on things. What does queer mean? So
queer is that basically he's attracted to anyone and everyone, regardless of their, like, so he's attracted to, he used to say that he was like pansexual or bi.
Okay.
So they've changed it now. So queer is just kind of like a blanket.
An encompassing of everything.
So he's attracted to basically everyone, regardless of how they were assigned at birth and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I feel like that falls under bi. I don't know. I feel like sexuality is so polarizing. Like, people,
it is
because everyone's so obsessed with labels.
Fluids, like his is fluid. Which is funny because when I met him, I thought about it, but I kind of dismissed it as well, because I not dismissed it. I kind of just put it in the back of my head because he liked me, I liked him, and I didn't really care that he had been with men before or was attracted to whoever because it didn't bother me. My mom, it bothered a lot.
Yeah. I feel like older people are just like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why can't you pick? I don't know why that's my old person voice, but
I love it.
Thank you.
But I think it's hard for people to understand that my husband is queer and that we're in a monogamous married relationship because they're like, well, if he's attracted to men or whoever, then how can he be with you? And it's like, for a long time considered myself heterosexual, but I think that my husband likes to joke that I'm straightish because like I'm obviously like I think that women are beautiful and I think that basically anyone is beautiful and I can find attraction in anyone. It doesn't necessarily mean that I could be in a relationship with them or whatever, but I think that we're all a little
I agree.
gayish.
I think everyone is I think we need to like just not have labels anymore.
I agree.
And just be like, I don't know, I'm just gonna love who I love and like whatever. Because I was watching porn like 2 nights ago and it was like a circle jerk on this woman. And I was like, what's gayer than that? Like getting all your dicks out with your buddies and like jerking off to the same girl. Like that to me, that is pretty gay. And truly at one point she had 2 dicks in her mouth. And I was like, so you're touching your friend's dick? But like, I'm sure it was like, they look like those people who would just be like, no homo, but we gonna fuck her together.
God, we joke about that all the time.
That's like pretty gay.
It is. And I think a lot of, like, we were talking about this too last night. My husband and I, like, there's the show that my son loves called Impractical Jokers. He's obsessed with it, where they play practical jokes on people. So they had to do a challenge where the guy had to get in a wrestling rink with a professional wrestler. And I told my husband, God, wrestling is so gay. It's so homoerotic.
So gay.
But the amount of people that watch wrestling and are in it would be like, oh, no, I'm not gay. I'm not into that.
Gay.
And it's like
football's pretty
100%.
gay.
All of them, all of the sports. And like soccer.
Soccer's not gay.
No.
Well, I guess, you're doing a little footwork. You're dancing around a field.
But, I just think like, I think through body positivity and learning how to love myself, it made me kind of like open my worldview, I guess, a bit on like people and realize that like we all have our own shit. And it made it easier for me to love other people, like through loving myself, which sounds really lame, but it's true.
But it's very true because it's on RuPaul says it, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
Can I get an amen?
It's so true because if you don't love you, then how are you bringing all of you to a relationship?
100%. So I think that's where the sexuality and like all of that comes into play, where I was able to, kind of, I never thought growing up in a Southern Baptist household, I mean, I'm not anymore, but I'm saying like that I would be married to someone who I am and like have the viewpoints on the world I do. But, my husband and I say in regards to the DMs, like, why can't you wash it before you're sending a photo of it, or like clip your nails or do a cute background. So we go through all the time and critique them where I'm like, I just like wish that people put more thought into them, which is probably why I'm married to my husband, because his looked like 60s gay porn. And I was like, I'm marrying you right now.
So did you guys send like naked pictures to each other?
Yeah, we did.
So he's from Australia, right?
He is.
So how long were you dating online before you actually met?
10 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a fucking long time.
It was. Well, I was supposed to go to Australia for work and the job fell through and I called him devastated. This was in September of 2012 and he asked me, do you want to like date? Do you want to like be exclusive and date? And so I was now dating a person I had never met. I already knew that I loved him. And so he came,
when did you know you loved him?
Pretty early on. I think like we talked all the time and he was in a relationship when we met and it was towards the end of the relationship and he broke up with her and we started talking and there was just, I think probably like 2 or 3 months into talking that I knew that I loved him and I actually was thinking of like, this is who I would want to marry. Aww. And it's weird because you've never even met the person and I had all these feelings for someone. So when I told my mom he was coming to visit me and like stay in my home,
Mm-hmm.
which see now I'm judging. I was like judging you earlier. He came and stayed in my home with my older son was 5 at the time for 6 weeks. Everyone,
That's a long time for an initial
Yeah.
meeting.
It was, and it did not go well.
Really?
No, I talk about it in my book, and because I felt like it was important to be honest with people that I didn't know how to be loved. I had never had anyone like want to see my body. I had never had anyone want to be intimate with me. Nick is the first person that I have had sex with more than 2 or 3 times, like the same partner. So I didn't know anything about that world. I mean, because most of my sexual encounters had been one night stands because that's all that guys were giving a fat girl.
I'm in the same boat currently.
Yeah.
I haven't. There's one person in my life that I've had sex with more than 3 times,
And
he's bad.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. Like, how do you develop as a person and like even sexually if you're not given a chance? So
Yeah,
it
a
sucks.
thing I'm working on right now in therapy is hugs. Like
You gave me a very good hug.
well, that's different. Like hugs with a man that I'm sleeping
Okay.
with, because to me, hugging and cuddling is more intimate than sex.
Yeah.
Like I used to get very drunk and like hook up with dudes and then be like, I don't cuddle, I don't do hugs. You fuck me now. And my therapist was like, we have to work on that when I said that to her. And I've just been trying to be more open with people and trying to like really like when I hug someone, like think of like how it makes me feel. It makes me feel happy. So like hugging a man I just slept with should in theory make me happy. But then I was like, have I ever slept with anyone I like? I don't think so.
Yeah. No, it's I can honestly say that, which I feel like maybe I'm useless on your podcast. 'Cause
You're not.
The other podcast I did, the other person had, or the one I did last week was newly single. So he was heartbroken. And I was like, yeah, my relationship has taught me so much. But, just rubbing it in their face. They're newly single. But
no, I like this. I like learning about. Okay. Oh, I have a question. So you talked for 10 months.
Yeah.
You FaceTime.
We FaceTimed, we Skyped, we did
texting,
all that.
calls,
Skype sex.
Do you think?
Yeah.
How does that work?
You just prop the computer up and
And then just like talk to each other through it?
Yeah, kind of.
Is it hot? Is it good?
It was, yeah, and I do miss it sometimes. Like when we travel, sometimes like when we travel mostly together because him and I work together. But when we travel apart, we still try to do stuff like that because you have to, especially when you're in a long-term relationship.
Keep it spicy.
Yeah, but I will tell you what was awkward when the internet connection would drop out. And you'd be like, it got very awkward.
There you are, alone in your room with a fucking vibrator in your pussy going, why is the Wi-Fi forsaking me?
It was so embarrassing. I'll never forget. I was in Vegas. He was in Australia because we did long distance for 10 months. I mean, not 10 months, 3 years before he moved over.
Whoa.
3 years. So I got really good at all this. So I was in Vegas. I was staying at my friend's house and I was like, I'm going to have a date night with Nick. We planned it. I got a room at the Cosmopolitan Hotel.
Ooh,
really
fancy
cute
girl.
room. I had lingerie and I go to call him and the internet's not working. This is in the Cosmopolitan Hotel. Like, this is
Like
not
an expensive Vegas
yes,
hotel that's
yes.
cute and gorgeous.
I had IT come up. I'm in a nightie. I have all these people coming trying to fix it. Nick's like being so supportive and nice. 3 hours, still not working. So we just decided to call each other and be like, okay, I love you. I'm sorry. We'll try it again. I was devastated. So, the internet, like I need the connections to be strong, the Wi-Fi to be strong.
Very funny to be like, IT, you need to fix this so I can fuck.
I was so bummed. I know, exactly. I was
love
just eating M&Ms from the mini bar and being so sad about life.
Here's a question. Do you think being long distance and not having met him for so long created a false sense of intimacy so that when you met him, you kind of had to backtrack because you had gotten ahead of it?
No, I think like it helped me familiarize myself with him. I don't know, maybe it did. I never thought of it that way. I think the part that I had a hard time with was I don't know, maybe it did, because I had a really hard time accepting that this person in front of me, like, he's much better looking in real life than online. And so he was like so handsome and he smelled so good. I remember all this stuff when I first met him, and I'm like, in my head, because I had such low self-esteem, I was like, how is this guy into me? And like, how does he want to be with me? And so it took probably the first 5 weeks of his trip of us, like, I was so mean to him.
Really?
And I was,
so you were just like putting up a wall to be like,
yeah,
in case you hurt me on this trip, I'll hurt you first.
And I was working still, I wasn't self-employed, so I wasn't modeling full-time. So I was doing like makeup at Mac, and I was also working in a dental office, and I took on extra shifts at Mac so I wouldn't be home with him.
Wow.
It was really mean. And it wasn't until like a week before he left that it clicked with me. And I was like, wait, this guy's leaving back to Australia. I don't know what's happening. Like, obviously we were together, but like, I mean, and so I didn't see him again after he left for another 10 months because money, we were both broke, but also I think it was just like, I didn't really leave him wanting to run exactly all the way back here.
Did he ever bring up that you seemed distant or mean in
Yeah.
Like on like afterwards or during?
No, during the trip he mentioned it, but I think he was just like really sad. And it's funny because now if I even like make him mad or anything, he'll like snap and let me know real quick. But then like I think like how did he hid it really well. And he would tell me in really like soft ways, but he was quite disappointed at my behavior.
Well, it's very interesting to me to date someone for 10 months without seeing them and like hearing like, because phone cadence is different than in-person cadence and FaceTime. All of that's different than like actually being there with the person. And it feels like it was 10 months of time getting to know someone, but then you had to get to know them again. Yeah. Because people are different in person.
I'm still doing it. I mean, we spent 3 years dating and we've lived together. Next month will be 3 years that he's lived in the US. But I mean, you're still like, I think we're still trying to figure it out, and we're still like learning stuff about each other and like annoying the shit out of each other. That's relationships. But it's weird to think back at a time where I felt unlovable and I felt like someone wouldn't love me because of my size, because now I can't even fathom that. Like, I don't want, I mean, if he, the only way that he's getting rid of me is if he dies. So if he dies tomorrow and let's say like however long down the track I start dating, I mean, I don't know, this is hypothetical, but I can't picture going back to that person I was and like, and like you, like my dating profile would be just as outspoken as that, saying like, I'm fat, deal with it. This is what I like.
Yeah, you know? When I first started online dating, my first profile was on OkCupid. I had a lot of face shots, a lot of like camera high, chin down, hide the second chin. And then I never met up with anyone from OkCupid when I was on it in New York. But like, had I, people would have been like, whoa,
100%.
You are truly misrepresenting yourself. Because I was like 75 pounds smaller. So then my face was like, I have a photogenic face. I look good in pictures.
Same.
And then if I like tilt down, like it's like, ooh, that's a thin woman. That woman might be a little thick, but like she looks thin. And it's like, you gotta show that whole body, yada, yada, yada.
I need you though to update your Tinder profile to one of those wig photos you posted because those were everything.
Thank you. If you don't follow me on social media, which you should, you can see my Tinder profile on Facebook. It's Nicole Byer Comedy. But on Instagram, I posted pictures of me in this fabulous purple wig that I got on Hollywood Boulevard that's made for a drag queen, but I saw it and I was like, that's me.
It's so good on
that's
you.
Who I am. Thank you so much. Tess, I have a question. I know we don't know each other very well, but if you were single, would you date me?
I would date you.
Ooh, what a treat. Very few people have said yes.
I mean, look, I don't know. I feel like life's too short and I don't know. Why not?
Thank you. I very much appreciate it. So what are you doing right now? You're modeling.
I am. I'm actually going to Fashion Week for the first time.
Are you walking?
I'm not. I walked last year. I'm not walking this year. This year, I'm going with Sebastian, the hair company. So I'm going to Christian Siriano's show.
Ooh, fun.
Interview him. Yeah. And then I'm meeting up with a fan, got a giveaway. So they're coming to do that.
That's nice.
It's going to be fun. So I'm attending like 8 shows. I've never done that. I'm doing like the full Fashion Week moment. But I think it's fun. It's like I'm in no way going to stop modeling, but I really want to get into high fashion. And I think like, you know, you have Beth Ditto and you have more high profile fat girls that designers are making stuff for, but you
they're
don't
making for them specifically,
for
which
sure.
bugs me the fuck out.
Yes.
Like Marc Jacobs, I think, featured Beth Ditto in a campaign.
Yeah.
But I was like, then make us fucking clothes.
And Jean-Paul Gaultier and Gucci.
Had Crystal Ren walk.
Yeah.
And had her walk at the end, meaning that was like his inspiration. It's like,
Yeah.
then make us the fucking clothes.
I know. And it's so frustrating. So it's like, it's hard because on one hand, I don't, you know, if high fashion's not making our size, then obviously I always tell people, put your money where your mouth is and support brands that are making your size. But on the other side, I you know, they make accessories, they make other stuff. And so I think why not? Like why, you know, you have plus size models that are working for some big designers, but those plus size models are no bigger than a 12 or a 14. So what about us fat girls that have money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to spend it.
I want to spend it and I want to be
love
cute.
bags, but you can only have so many purses.
I know. I had a designer today that I'm attending their show and they were like, you can pick 4 things from our site. And I mean, I was so excited, but when you're going through it, it's like I had to do a filter and say accessories and like, you know, because I can't wear the stuff. So that part is frustrating. So yeah, I mean, I want to do more high fashion. I'm doing a couple other things that I can't talk about yet, but I don't know. I think TV's fun. I want to see where that takes me. So
as like a personality, or do you want to get into acting?
Maybe not acting, probably just myself. I don't want to do anything scripted because that's not me. But I don't know. I'm kind of like testing some stuff out, but I mean, sorry for everyone. I guess they'll just have to see me more, I guess is what I'm saying. But
I don't know. I love how visible you are. I love that you were on the cover of People magazine, which is like great. And I love that you exist, and I love that you don't apologize for existing.
Thank you.
And I think you're a real trailblazer, and I'm so excited you came to talk to me.
I'm so excited I got to see you.
Yeah, because I like talking about fat things, but I haven't had anyone on who's like full-fledged, like, fuck you, this is it, I don't fucking care, whatever. So it was just like...
I'm glad I got to be the first and pop your cherry.
Yeah. Oh, I always ask people to subscribe to the podcast and rate it. And if you rate it and hit on me or say something nasty, I'll read it. So let's see what I got. Okay. M. Thomas Steele said, "Sweet podcast. This podcast is as sweet as them sweet, sweet titties on Nicole. And I want to bury my face all up in them." Which I truly, truly love very, very, very much. And then everyone truly is being very nice, which is great. Someone said they want to sit on my face, which is good, I guess. Okay. But like, I want to sit on your face.
I was just about to say, like, I would much rather it be the other way.
Right? Like, I don't want that. And then I had a good one. This man said he was sorry for his white male privilege, and he wanted to give it to me. He wanted to give me his hard white male privilege. Oh. That made me giggle. Yeah, so truly, keep them coming in. They make me smile. I really love when people are inappropriate and nasty, and I'm asking for it.
I'm glad you put that disclaimer on there.
And I'm asking for it in a way that women are not asking for it all the time. Unless they say they want it, they don't. So that's my little tidbit for everyone today. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye!
That was a HeadGum podcast.